All right, welcome back here to Kentucky Neckbeard here. We're going to talk a little bit about Calipari today. We're going to talk about the Kentucky's new men's basketball coach, and maybe a little bit about women's basketball, since we do have a new coach there too. Um, so let's go ahead and break it down. Calipari has left Kentucky on his own to go to Arkansas. Me personally, I'm overjoyed by this. I wanted Cal fired. I've been wanting Cal fired. Uh, me, me, me personally, I believe Calipari has underachieved at Kentucky pretty much every year, all 15 years. Um, that's my opinion. That's my personal opinion. Uh, I can kind of go back and tell you a little bit. 20, 2009, 2012, pretty successful. Elite Eight, Final Four national championship. 2013 to 2015, missed tournament, lost in the first round of NIT to Robert Morris. Unexpectedly made the uh, title game in 2014. 38-0, lost in the Final Four to Wisconsin in 2015. So there's 6 years right there. He had 5 good years, 2 great years, and 1 bad year uh, in the first 6 years. But I kind of felt like Calipari can never really coach. He's a recruiter. He's not a coach. Uh, and from 2016 to 2019, the best we did was one Elite Eight. Uh, and after all that, that's he lost it to me. That's just my opinion. 2020, 2019, we made the Elite Eight, and 2020 to 2024 can't really count 2020 mainly because there was no tournament because of COVID. 2021, we missed the tournament with a 9-16 record, one of the worst years in Kentucky basketball history. And since then, missing the tournament, going 9-16, Kentucky hasn't even made it out of the first weekend. Matter of fact, we've only won one game in the SEC tournament. We've only won one game in the NCAA tournament, and that was the same year, last year. Kind of coincidence, huh? Um, but other than all that, I thought Cal has well underachieved. I thought Cal lost his any type of success here in 2015 when we lost. Um, Not everybody agrees with me, but that's my personal opinion. So I have been calling for Cal's head since we lost in 2015. Um, but a little bit of the backstory behind all this. If you listen to anything Calipari has said since leaving Kentucky to go to Arkansas, he talks about how he's got the NIL, he's got the administration backing him. I just want to tell you, everything he did here at Kentucky and did not have here at Kentucky was because of him. When you got boosters donating, supporting you, giving you whatever you need, and you start treating them like crap, they're not going to keep giving you money. And Mark Stoops comes in, he has big wins. He invites these boosters and donors to his house for a party, after a celebration. Um, you know, and so they switched over to football. Uh, it was a couple years ago. The whole basketball football school thing. Cal Perry's in the Bahamas, and he made the comment about Kentucky's a basketball school. Blah 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 blah. We all know the story behind all that. Mark Stoops and the football staff got mad because we had been making strides, and quite honestly, had been doing better in football at that point in time. And really still. But anyways, that's why everything went football way. Miss Barnhart kind of took Stoops aside on that whole football school thing. Stoops was mainly mad because he felt like it wasn't just a basketball school; it was a football school too. And Calipari's never really apologized for that comment. Uh, football is not has not never really been successful here in Kentucky. We've been better under Stoops. It took Stoops some time to build this thing up. and I think he's still building, in my opinion. But you can't have a Cal, you can't have Coach Cal, you can't have a coach out there of another sport in the same same athletic department going around and making comments like that because it hurts the it hurts the recruiting because these kids they don't want to come to a basketball school. It's kind of like Georgia right now. Um, it's kind of hard for them to recruit basketball because everybody they pour their hearts and soul into football. But Mike White's doing better there, so it'd be kind of like my Kirby Smart coming out saying Georgia's a football school. Everybody knows Georgia's a football school, but you don't need somebody in the same athletic department making that comment. But anyway, I kind of rambled off there. My bad. Uh, so Coach Cal went to didn't feel wanted here after Mitch Barnhart's meeting, and they even did that interview where they tried to make things look better on TV. They've never had a real working relationship here. They never really liked each other. Coach Cal and the basketball program was kind of off on an island doing their own thing, and I make a comment about Seth Greenberg. Seth Greenberg has been out saying that the facilities have been upgraded in what 15 years or something 10 15 years. Calipari's actually gotten two upgrades to his practice facility in 15 years. The last one was 5 years ago. Right now, Kentucky Athletics is building, helping baseball, helping other programs, and kind of spreading it out throughout the whole athletic department. That we've redone the football stadium. Actually just redid the football stadium again. Gave Mark Stoops a practice facility that's just his indoor practice facility that's just his. Took out the track around the practice field, built a new track facility, indoor track. Uh, all this has happened over the last 15 years. And basketball is not the only thing that had been succeeding here in those 15 years. The problem is basketball is the only thing under achieving here right now. Uh, and Mark and that's just how it works here. That's how it works at every university out here. You can't just want to do better across the like all athletic department, all sports, and then only donate to your football program who's winning that championships. Or just in Kentucky's case, basketball, and especially when they're not even doing nothing. The coach, Coach Cal had did one pregame press conference all year. He skipped most of his fucking post game. Excuse my language. Uh, Press conferences. Uh, and it's all his relationship here in Kentucky. It's all his fault because his ego got in the way. Uh, so I mean, I wish him best of luck at Arkansas, which is where he went. I couldn't be more excited that he left Arkansas. I appreciate you, Cal, for a couple of good years in the last 15. I I appreciate Arkansas even more for taking this bum out off our hands. But everything come out. Kentucky only got turned down by two coaches. Scott Drew, his family came here. I think we may have scared him off a little bit. We had the fan base was tracking his plane. Uh, well, it's just his family was on the plane. They were supposed to land in Lexington, ended up diverting it to Georgetown. They came up. His family came up here and toured the city. And when they got back, uh, Scott Drew said he wanted to pray on it and give Kentucky a answer in the coming days. Well, Scott Drew Thursday morning turned down. Said that he was going to stay at Baylor. They appreciated the offer. Kentucky then turned to Dan Hurley, offered him somewhere in the neighborhood of $11 to $12 million a year, which would have been the highest paid college coach in all sports. Uh, he decided to stay at UConn. Uh, Not much more Mitch Barnhart could have done. Of course, it started coming out the pearls, the Patinos. I don't know why Patino came out, but he did. Uh, Shaka Smart, Nate Oates kind of removed himself beforehand. Uh, Billy Donovan was the other one. Problem with Billy Donovan is Kentucky didn't really want to wait for Billy Donovan. They played Wednesday in a playing game, and then of course he wins that game. Yeah, they move on. Then we had to wait for a whole nother series, which is another week or so. And Barnhart has came out since then and said he really didn't want to wait. Uh, well, Thursday night after we got turned down by Hurley and Scott Drew, it kind of started coming out that Mark Pope was it. The coach, Kentucky fan base really didn't accept that very well. He is one of our own. He did play here in Kentucky. He did win a national championship in 1996 with Jeff Shepard, Cameron Mills, Scott Paget. I think even Travis Ford was on that game on that team. Under Coach Rick Pitino, obviously, um, his stats ain't great, but he's coming from BYU and Utah Valley State or something. Um, so I mean, BYU is a Mormon school, and that's kind of hard to recruit there because it kind of can be you got to be Mormon. Uh, and there's some things you got to go through, say you're not going to do, like you know, uh, adult relations, and you know, so he's kind of had trouble recruiting there. But he had some of his best years, and in his early years, he's kind of turned around. I want to say he's got like a 67% winning percentage in his career, which is actually higher than Cal when Cal came here. Um, Mark Pope gets the BBN. He gets the fan base. He gets the passion. He knows everything. Well, he's actually officially going to get introduced tomorrow at 4:30 in a press conference open to the public at Rupp Arena. Um, but I've dug in. I wasn't too happy at first, but I've dug in. They when you got like Calvin Sampson at Houston and other coaches saying that they're hard to uh, game plan against, they're harder to defend. Um, Giving Pope the most up respect, and then actually seeing the videos where at one point a time this year, BYU had taken 772 3-point shots and only 752% or 752 2-point shots. They play a run, it's a run and gun. It's very exciting. Rebound to miss and get and off on the break. Um, he everything I've seen, I'm excited for. He's very energetic. He's very hyper. Uh, that's one thing that people say about his personality is that he's a very energetic person. He's very hyper. Some like Jeff Shepard and Cameron Mills and Tony Delk, who all played with um, Mark Pope here at Kentucky, all have said that there's numerous times back then, Patino and all of them were telling him he needs to calm down. He's going overboard. I'm excited. All I'm going to ask BBM is let's give this man a chance. Uh, we're not going to get the flashy recruits like we got with Cal. Um, Maybe he goes after a couple, uh, one or two that what I'm calling tier one. Uh, your NBA one and duns. I guess was pretty much how you put it. Uh, but he's going to go for a tier two, tier three, people who's going to stay here multiple years. So I think he's going to play into both sides of this fan base. People want the best recruits. People want multiple years out of these recruits. Um, I think you're going to get both out of this. Um, he's going to play transfer portal. It's already transfer portal already. You got BYU's got 3 players in the transfer portal. Ali, I'm going to pronounce this wrong. I know it. Khalif, I think is how you pronounce it. He's in the transfer portal at BYU and expected to sign with Kentucky. Uh, you got Jackson Robinson. He was named the Big 12 Six Man of the Year. He's in the transfer portal. A lot of talk about him entering, coming to Kentucky. And you got uh, a guard, Dylan Hall, who's also in the transfer portal and expected to come to Kentucky. Now, these may not be flashy players. They may not be great players. But you just got to remember the Padgetts, the Shepherds, they all were really good here at Kentucky. Didn't do much afterwards, but they were really good here at Kentucky. Um, and just give them a chance. These if we get these three players, they're going to help come in and get Mark Pope's system here running up and running faster here at Kentucky. Uh, there's even rumors that if that there's a good possibility Reed Shepard comes back for another year. That'd be a high time to recruit, and it's I'm not sure how likely it is because he at one point in time he was projected number one overall draft pick this year. I've heard a lot of people say he's a lottery pick. Um, he did have two bad games at the end of the year in the tournaments. Uh, but I mean, I'd be more than happy to have Reed Shepard back. I'd also be very, happy to congratulate him for 1 year here at Kentucky, and hopefully he has a really good year, a good career in the NBA. I don't know. Nobody really knows except maybe Stacy and Jeff Shepard, who both are UK uh, alums, and he chose Kentucky for Kentucky. He didn't choose Cal. He chose Kentucky. Um, of course, we have the decommits, the Knoxes, the Qs, the I can't pronounce his name. It's Jaden Qs. I'm gonna call him. Uh, and the Something Zero. They all decommitted. Uh, we got the Bradshaws in the transfer portal since Cal left, but like a Dude Theero, he left before Cal. Um, I would like to see us go after a Dude Theero. Joey Hart transferred after Cal left. He didn't really play though, so I like to see a Dude Theero. Maybe Pope go get Dude Theero, bring him back. Um, maybe we can try to get a Jaden Quinnance. I think it's how you pronounce his name. I'm not 100%. I always call him Jaden Q, or I just call him Q. It's a good possibility he comes, but we still do have Travis Perry committed, who's all time leading high scorer in Kentucky state history. Um, he's still committed. I think he'll stay. Still good. We still got Boogie Flynn here. Uh, who's the other one? I always forget one more. Billy Reed, Billy something. He's still committed. Has not decommitted since I started this video. I've not seen official decommitment. So Billy Richardson, that's his name. Uh, but anyways, so I mean, just keep these guys. Bring in some, open up transfer portal. Bring in some recruits. I think we'll be fine. Really, just give Mark Pope a chance. I think Kentucky fans will be really excited. It's a fun basketball if you go look at BYU highlights. Uh, but anyways, I've been out here 20 minutes. I'm gonna get off here. And also since I brought it up, Kentucky did hire Kenny Brooks from Virginia Tech as our women's basketball coach. He's been killing it in recruiting and transfer portal. Um, so our women's basketball program might be back on the map too. But anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. If you ain't already done so, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button. Leave the comment below. I love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.